Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Sue of Bendnstretch with Sue. In today's video, I'm taking you through a session that I recently did with my students via Zoom, and this one is a mix-up of classical Pilates movements. I just finished teaching a class where I was leading my students through Pilates with weights. So if my stamina is lagging a little bit, you'll know why. So let's get started. All you need for this one is your mat, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you'll know when I upload new content. You can check it out and check me out in the next video. Namaste. In that supine neutral position, bring the feet so that they're comfortably planted on the mat, and you might want to pick up your bottom and then place it back down again, which allows you to really feel that sense of leveling through your pelvis. You want to be open through the chest. You want the center back of your head on your mat as well. And in that positioning, you're well grounded. So take a few moments to bring your attention to what's going on within your body. Feel that grounding with the leveling of the pelvis and the anchoring of those pressure points in your mat. Taking a deep breath in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth. So take a few breaths like that. Feeling the belly expanding, and then as it contracts, start to be aware of the muscles that are helping you to do that contraction. Relaxing your jaw so that the neck muscles, shoulders are relaxed. We want to bring the emphasis in that midsection of the body, lifting through the pelvic floor as we begin to engage our powerhouse. So when you breathe in, relax everything. And then when you breathe out, start to feel that little lift of your pelvic floor, moving into your low abdomen and up to your belly button, and just squeezing out the breath. So it's a sense of pulling down a zipper when you breathe in. It starts at your collarbones, and you're just pulling it down, letting everything inflate, and then when you breathe out, it's like you're drawing that zipper close and just squeezing and compacting everything in nice and snug. So do one more full breath like that. On your next inhalation, where you're pulling the zipper down, you're going to exhale, pulling the zipper up again. But then as you breathe in, imagine pulling that zipper down only to the belly button. So everything from the belly button down stays engaged. You can even put your hand there so that when you're breathing, you're not expanding the belly. You're simply keeping it nice and snug, and you're breathing laterally into your chest and into your rib cage. So you're holding and you're feeling the tension in the lower abdomen. That's what's going to brace your back. It's going to support you as you start to add some movement. So hold on to that tension and maintaining the pressure points in the mat that we established, bringing your right leg up into tabletop position. You can feel the little bit of work you have to do here to keep the pelvis level, and then bring the left one up as well, holding it here. And as you either tap the right toes down or stretch the right leg long, whichever one serves you best. You might experiment with the two of them to see how well you can keep your back nice and solid, keeping it anchored into your mat. So this is going to be your cue for yourself
of adding movement and being able to maintain that stability through your core. If you start to feel like you're arching your back too much, then make your movements smaller or take a rest to recharge those abdominal muscles. So as we bring it back to our tabletop here, you can bring the arms up as well. And from here, let's add bigger movement if you feel ready to do so. Take your right arm by the ear and take your left leg long. And as you bring them that way, bring them back in and then switch. And it's the same thing here. You don't want to be arching your back. So that means you don't want your ribs to pop up, because if your ribs flare up, that means you're arching your back more. So you want to keep that whole spine nice and still and stable as we alternate this side to side. If extending the leg is too much, go back to your toe taps. So let's do one more on each side. You should be starting to feel those muscles waking up. And bring it back. Bring the feet back down. Bring the arms down. Open the arms wide and let your legs sway in a beautiful, easy manner from side to side to release that low back. And it just brings a little bit of stretch into those oblique muscles as well. And then bring it all the way back up again. Bringing the knees in and just give yourself a little bit of rocking from side to side. I'm just going to move my mat over a little bit here, just to make sure that you can see me well. So from here, coming back to your supine neutral position with your knees pointed straight up and your feet flat on your mat. Let's wake up the big muscles of our quads, our glutes, and anchor the arms at our sides. Open through your chest, press once again through those anchor points. Take an inhale. As you exhale, lengthen your tailbone and peel it away from your mat to come up into a Pilates bridge. So I always like to start to wake up the body this way, bringing the top of your spine down, working your way down with articulation. And this just wakes up the back chain of the body. We'll repeat that a few more times. Link that with your breathing as well. Taking your time to just feel the pressure in the feet. Try to distribute it evenly in your feet as well, so that you're not just pressing in your toes or the balls of your feet. You want to be pressing into your heels as well. Let's hold it up at the top here. Really get a good sense of waking up those large glutes. So hold it here. Feel like you're drawing your inner thighs together. So your feet are not touching, your knees are not touching. You've got a little bit of a space between feet and the knees so that your inner hip bones are lined up with your knees. So take another squeeze of the glutes here and then roll it all the way back down again. Bring the knees in, give them a squeeze. You can massage out the back as you circle those knees around one way, circle them around the other way, and remember, modify as you go. Bring your legs to tabletop. If you get tired, supine neutral with the feet on the floor. If you want a little bit more fire here, bring both legs long and back. You can have the hands at your sides and just playing around with how stable you can be with your low back. You could do one leg at a time again, or maybe keep the legs up higher, which is going to make it a little bit easier. So the lower the legs go, the more challenging it's going to be. So you are in the driver's seat here, so you decide just where you're going to position the legs as we bring those legs up and reach the arms out alongside. So we get ready to come into the 100. Use any of the leg variations we've gone over as you stay open through the chest. Maybe play around with the legs a little lower if you want. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 4, 10, inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 4, 20, inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 30, inhale 2, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 40, inhale 2, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 50, inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 4, 60, inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 70, inhale 2, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 80, inhale 2, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 90, inhale 2, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 100. Bring it down and stretch it out. So that gets the blood pumping really nicely. Let's move on to our next exercise here. So we bring the right leg up. So from here, you have options depending on your flexibility. The left leg can be bent, it can be straight, extended on the floor. But if it is, make sure that it's staying firm. So flex the ankle in order to really activate the leg, or bring it up above the floor. From here, stretch that hamstring as we bring the arms alongside, pointing the right toes as we circle around and back. Circle around and back. So as you're doing this, keep your hips beautifully level. Keep the chest proud. Don't be swaying your hips from side to side. Just keep it moving. Bring it up and let's switch the direction. Circling out and in. Breathing in and out. Pay attention to your cervical spine here as well. Don't point your chin up to the sky. One last one. Bring it in, switch it up. So same thing. Make the adjustment. So we want to give the leg a little bit of a stretch first as we prepare to work on this side. So remember that powerhouse is on, toes pointed, fire up your right leg, and let's circle in and out. Keeping those hips level. Keep it controlled, no flopping of the leg, no swaying of the hips. Last one, in this direction, go the other way for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in, bring both knees in. Give yourself a nice squeeze and bringing the nose up toward the knees. A little bit of rocking forward and back. To come all the way up to seated. So from here, let's bring the feet flat on the floor. And that would be option number 1. So for your easiest option, feet are flat on the floor. You can hold on to the legs, opening up the chest, tucking the chin and breathing in, breathing out to roll down. And you want to round through the back. And only coming down to where you know you can pull yourself back up using your abdominals. So you don't, even though you've got the hands there for a little extra support, you don't want to be pulling with your arms. They're just there to kind of distribute the weight so it's not all coming back, and also to just give you that little grip and coming back up. Now for those of you who've been practicing longer, you can have the arms out alongside the legs. Maybe the same thing, you only come down partially and then you make your way back up. Or maybe you're able to come all the way down, reaching the arms up and back without flaring the ribs, tucking the chin in, and rolling your way up again to open up. So you choose the option. There's quite a few here that you can work with. And you decide what's going to serve you best today. Feel that control in your abdominal muscles. That's what it's all about. Developing that strength from your center. It's going to serve you so well in your day-to-day functional activities. And coming all the way up. So from here, we'll take the legs a little bit wider and taking the arms out in front. So stacking your shoulders over top of your hips. Take an inhalation, lift the ribs, so feel like you're really lifting away from the hips. Reach it forward. So from here you can even bring the hands down, kind of walk them away, keeping that rounding in the back, and then slowly restacking your spine, shoulders over hips. So it's a nice spine stretch. Reaching forward, pulling the navel, pulling the whole abdominal wall forward. Bring the hands down. You skip them a little further forward and then restack and realign. So it's not a big forward bend by any means. It's really just about stretching forward, reaching, getting a good stretch across that upper back and bringing that back in. And come back up again. So you can roll out the shoulders a little bit here, loosen it all up, make sure there's no tension, a little turn of the head from side to side, bring the legs back together. Again, let's take a nice big inhale, roll, reach up and tuck the chin in as if you had a orange right underneath your chin to roll it down. And as you come all the way down, we'll bring the left arm alongside the ear. Bend your right leg to help you to roll onto your side. So from here we bring the top leg up and bring the bottom to meet it. So bottom leg touches the top one. So keeping your hips nice and level as you do this. So it's a squeeze, squeeze to tap the bottom foot to the top one. We'll do another 3, 2, 1, and from here, lowering the bottom foot, keep the top leg in line with your hip. And you want to make sure your cervical spine here is nicely aligned as well. If you've got a blanket, you can tuck there or just hold your arm here. We are going to bring that top knee in, kind of in line with your hip, and then reach through the heel. It's as if you're pedaling a big bicycle. Squeeze the glute here as you bring the leg back, bending the knee and bringing it out in front, pressing through that heel to continue with that big round circle. Keep that core nice and strong. So as you're moving the leg, you're going to feel that leg working hard, but you're not going to roll on your hip. You don't roll back on your glute and roll forward on your hip. You are isolating the movement to pedaling out that top leg, making a nice big rounded movement. Keep your breath flowing with it. Feel the glute, the side glute working. Let's do it again. And bring it all the way back. And from here, we stretch out both legs again. Taking the top leg, sliding the toes along the inside of the leg, extend them long, and then lower it down for our passes. So as you continue to keep your body nicely stacked, control the movement. Do not let the hips roll around. So that might mean that you need to make your movements smaller as always. And really imagine yourself executing this in water so that you are precise in your execution. If you want a little extra, you can always take that top arm away from supporting you so that your core has to work that much harder to execute. Now as we bring it up this time, hold it up here, bend the leg, and slide that big toe away from you to lift it up and bring it back in. So continuing on with the reverse passe. So concentrate on your movement and make sure that you're still keeping that visualization of having that zipper holding everything from the navel down snugly secured. So you're not softening up at all through your powerhouse. So let's do one more from here. And bring it all the way back again. From here, take that top arm to help you, to assist you to roll onto your stomach. From here, we're going to bring the arms slightly outside of your mat. If you're using a yoga mat, it's going to be a little, your elbows are going to be out beyond the edges of your mat. They're kind of in line with your shoulders, but slightly down from the shoulder. Palms are down. Bring the feet a little bit wider than hip width, just a tiny bit. Press through the tops of your feet. The tip of your nose is on your mat, and from here, your tailbone is slightly tucked. So you want to keep your lower back as long as you can. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, you're lifting yourself up, maybe coming up even higher onto the hands. And then from here, you are going to articulate one vertebra at a time to come back to your starting place. Breathing in at the bottom, breathing out to lift yourself up. And just keep that going. Now, again, if you don't have a lot of strength in your back, your movement might be a lot smaller, or you might find that you have to do one, take a little rest, and then do another one. And just pace yourself in that manner. But it should feel so beautiful, such a beautiful movement. So great to work the front of the body and then work the back of the body as well as the sides, so we get right around the whole core. So we're going to do one more here. Breathing out when it is more challenging, and breathing in when it is easiest, and bring it all the way down. So you're going to roll onto your other side now. So if you were on your left side, you're going to roll onto your right side. I'm just going to turn myself around this way. And from here, once again, supporting my body, so I've got a beautiful alignment. And as I keep everything drawn in, hips stacked, shoulders stacked, I am going to bring that top leg up, hold it. So I'm working the top leg and I'm working the bottom leg as I bring them together. So it's just a little tap, a little squeeze. I'm not throwing the bottom leg up. I'm simply drawing them close. It's kind of like I am squeezing scissors or pliers to bring them together. Squeezing, using not only my powerhouse, but also using my inner thighs and working to stabilize myself. So trying to use as little of my hands as possible for the stability as I lift that bottom leg up. So a few more here. Last two and last one. So from here I anchor. Again, I'm going to bend that front leg and I'm going to create this beautiful big bicycling motion. So the top leg never touches the bottom leg. And let's fire up the bottom leg as well so that you are getting double the value here as you not only work that top leg, but you're working the bottom one. Keep that going around really pressing, exaggerating the movement, and preventing yourself from rolling around. So again, it's really, really simple movements that can be done anywhere, anytime. You don't need a lot of room to do this, but it really does work. So from here, let's change the direction, moving the other way. I can't remember if I did that on the other side or not, but here we go. You'll find as well that one side always is a little bit stronger than the other, so it's easier to execute on one side than it is on the other side. And let's finish it up right here. Stretching that leg long. We bring the big toe along the inner leg and reach it up and lower it down. So again, moving into those passes. So pay attention to your hip positioning here. Keep your zipper done up so that you are holding everything in that low abdomen nice and snug. It feels so good to just take the time to internalize what your body is doing rather than just whipping through. You want to concentrate. It really is a mind-body practice because of that focus of having the mind in your muscles. So this time, as we bring it up, we're going to reverse the direction, bending, dragging the toe away, lifting it up, bend, and keep it going. Keeping everything in here. Keep your breath flowing. And last one more. And bring it all the way down, rolling onto your stomach once again. And this time we're going to bring the hands, bring the forearms right underneath. So the elbows are underneath the shoulders, the chest is open here. So you want to keep those forearms parallel to each other. The hips are sinking down. And you're going to lift your feet off the floor if you can. If not, just keep them on the floor. So both legs are fired up, even if the foot's on the floor. Keep the chest open, and you're going to inhale and exhale as you bend the right leg and kick, extend and switch, kick, extend and switch. Breathing in, breathing out, out. Now as you do this, you're really working through those glutes to stabilize, so there's not a lot of movement going on through your hips. There's no sensation in the lower back whatsoever. If you find that you're up a little bit too high, you can always take your forearms further away from you, elbows further forward. That's going to take some of the compression, if you're feeling that, in your lower back away. Let's do one more. And bring it down. So from here, we'll bring the hands to the top of the mat. You can just rest your forehead on your stacked hands for now. And when you're ready, we're going to take the arms and bring them back behind us. Now you're going to take your thumbs and hook them into each other. And from here, as you hook those thumbs, you're going to take an inhale, Left ear is to the mat as you kick, kick, kick. Actually, sorry about that. Left ear is to the mat. You're going to double kick, kick, kick the legs. Stretch them long. Reach those thumbs back as you pick up your upper body. Inhaling. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. And exhale. 1, 2, 3. Keep that going as you bring the opposite ear to the mat with each kicking segment. So breathing in, lifting up, breathing out again. Lots of control. You don't want to feel this in the lower back. We'll do one more to each side. And release it down. Bring the hands again to the top of your mat. Slide your right knee out to the side for a half frog and bring your left ear to those stacked hands. So just releasing the hips, feeling a beautiful inner thigh stretch. And then switch it over, opposite ear to the hands and opposite knee to the side. As we bring the hands outside of the chest, let's really fire up those arms, fire up the legs. So you can do this from your toes or you can do it from your knees, reaching the head forward. Keep those elbows tucked in. Take an inhale, exhale, press it down, lift it up, nice and strong, bring the knees down, and push back to child's pose or shell stretch, as it is known in Pilates. You can bring the arms by your legs to create even more rounding, which is a really good counter to that back after coming into those back bends. And slowly unroll yourself. So we're going to move into a plank position. You're going to open up the hands. Now you can do your plank from your toes or you could do it from your knees. From here, as you align yourself, make sure you fire up the body so you're nice and strong, fired up through the whole body. From here, get onto the balls of your feet as well. We're going to come into our front leg pull. As we lift the right leg, move back, move your weight back, move it forward and drop it down. Left leg lifts up, shift it back, forward and down. Now you can keep going like that, or you could simply hold this from your knees. You could drop down to your forearms if you need to. Again, this is just a guide. You do what needs to be done for you and your body. So if you're doing a leg pull with me, we're going to reach back, forward and down. Lift, reach, forward and down. So switching it out, down, lift, reach, back and down, lift, reach, back, down, lift, reach, back, down. One more with each foot. Last one. And bring it down. Push it back into a downward dog or a child's pose. So you decide which one will serve you best. From here, I'm going to take my right hand to the center top of the mat in order to come into a side plank with the feet scissored. Lifting the hips up nice and high, reach up with that top arm, and then pike the hips as you thread the needle to the side. Reach it up, inhale, side plank, then pike the hips up, reach through. Do it again. We've got 3 more. 1, and 2, last one for 5, and bring it back. So from here, we can flip it right over into an inclined plane, or you could do reverse table. So you decide which one works best for you. Or you could just keep a modified inclined plane where your hips are just hovering above the floor. So from here, lifting the hips up. Let's lift the right leg, Bring it in, reach back and down. Lift the left leg, bring it in, reach back and down. So remember, a reverse table is going to be your modification here. So a few more. Let's do one more on each leg. Last one. And let's pivot over to our downward dog once again. So we're going to switch sides this time for our side plank. So you're going to come into side plank with the left hand under the face. Feet are wider again to open it up. Inhale, reach up with the top arm and pike those hips up again as you reach through for 5, threading the needle. Inhale it up, exhale it down. Breathing in, we've got 3 more. Get those hips up nice and high. Keep it long from the hand up to the tailbone. 1 more over here. And bring it back to your downward dog. Knees come down. You can bring your big toes together. Open the knees wider and take it into a child's pose. Just soften it up. Bring the belly toward the floor to give yourself a deeper stretch through the hips and through that low back. And then slowly unroll. Come on into table. Let's move into some cow-cats. And come on to a seated position. From here, we are going to bring the knees in, and as we balance here, we're going to come into a boat position. You can extend the legs long if you like, bringing your thighs toward the belly. You can keep holding on to those legs, or you can take a hold of the ankles. Maybe take the feet a little bit wider for open leg rocker, pulling the belly in. So keep holding it here or rolling back and, oops, rolling forward again. So let's try that again. Roll back and roll it forward. Roll it back and take it forward again. It's been a while since I've done that one. And let's do one more. Balancing here and bring those legs in. So from here, sit tall. Let's bring those feet a little bit wider still than hip width, arms nice and wide. We're coming into saw. So take a breath in, really lift your ribs away from the hips, inhale, and as you exhale, turning the body so your rib cage or your sternum is facing the opposite direction, taking your left hand toward your right big toe as you double pulse. Inhale to come through the center, exhale, twist, reach and double pulse. Breathing in and breathe out, out. And across. So pinky finger toward pinky toe as you get a little bit deeper if you are able to. Otherwise, you could just hold it here. Breathing in, breathing out. The important thing is to work on that twist, but be mindful of what's happening in the sit bones. You want to stay really well anchored in your mat. So last one. And bring it all the way up and bring those legs together. Roll out the shoulders. Take a breath in, reach up. As you reach forward, tuck the chin in and roll yourself down, articulating to your mat. So from here, making sure that you've got enough room, you're well positioned on your mat. We are going to bring the legs back into our tabletop positioning that we started with. taking your left hand over to your right knee, reaching your right hand towards your right ankle. So open your chest, reach the left leg long. If you can, if you're getting a little tired, you can keep both legs bent. From here, we're going to lift straight up through the center. So this is not a twist. You're lifting up to the center, and then you are switching and reaching for the opposite side. You're inhaling in the middle, you're exhaling. You're trying to get your shoulder blades off the floor as much as you can. And bring them both in and release. From here, let's move on to scissoring the legs as we stretch the hamstring. Take an inhale and exhale, exhale and switch. Exhale, exhale, switch. Continuing on side to side. Looking straight ahead. Bring the legs together, bend into your tabletop position, fingertips by the ears. Let's switch or cross over. Now we're actually creating more of a twist as we bring the left shoulder or left rib cage toward the right thigh. Bring it back to the middle, inhale. Exhale, switch it over. Bring your right rib cage toward the left thigh, inhale. Exhale, breathe in and breathe out. And bring it in. Bring both of those knees and give yourself a really nice release. And let's bring a little bit more balance to the back body as we prepare to come back into a Pilates bridge. So making sure you've got that little bit of space between your feet and knees, hands at your sides. Open the chest, anchor through your pressure points, lift your hips to come up into your bridge position. From here, we lift up the right leg, reaching through those toes, keeping the hips level. Reach up and flex as you lower. Point as you lift. Flex as you lower. So again, it is about controlling everything. There's no floppiness whatsoever to your movement, but strong, anchored control. It feels so good, feels so strong in doing that. Lift it up, bend the leg, and step it in, reset. If you need a break, come on down and come right back up when you're ready. So again, reset the hips, glutes are squeezed, and let's lift up, extend, and point, and flex. Feel yourself really anchored through that right side. One side is most likely going to be easier for you. If you've been doing this for a while though, you might find that you're feeling a lot more balanced. The two sides are much more similar to each other now than they might have been when you first started. So if you're first starting, keep in mind that over time, you will get more balanced on both sides. Last one. Bring it up, bend, and step it in, and bring it down. Bring those knees into the body, and again, lift the nose up to the knees, give yourself a nice squeeze, and release it. Open the arms wide, let your knees sway to one side as you release those oblique muscles. Bring it up to the middle and switch it over to the other side. Now, as you continue to keep the knees to the left, let's roll over onto that left side. From here,
I'm going to come up onto my left hand and left knee, extending up my right arm. So I want to try to get that right hand as closely aligned to being under my shoulder as possible. You want to have a little bit of softness in that elbow so you're not hyperextending the joint. And from here, we're going to lift that top leg up. And you can take the hand behind the ear, or you can just keep holding it, reaching up. And we want to keep those hips level, pointing through your tippy toes as you circle forward and back. Getting right around here with the leg, keeping that whole core nice and strong as you draw those circles. Go the other way. Keep circling it around. Keep that tummy pulled in. And bring it all the way down. Take a big stretch here. Reach through those fingertips. Feel the stretch through the side of the ankle. And as you lift up again, bring the knee and elbow toward each other and extend with control. Reach and contract. Reach and squeeze. Last one. Breathe it in and circle it all the way down, coming down onto that left side. From here, I'm going to bring the head, just kind of cradle it in the elbow here. So I don't want to be collapsing in my shoulder. I do want to keep my body as straight as possible, and then taking the other hand and placing it by the ear. So my chest stays open here. I can have a little bit of softness in that bottom knee just to help with my balance. So from here, I'm going to lift the top leg up. I'm going to reach the leg back, really squeezing my glute as I flex the ankle. So squeeze, inhale, and exhale, exhale as I bring the leg forward. So glide it back, squeeze that glute, and exhale, exhale. Breathe in. Squeeze, breathe out, out. Breathe in and out, out. So keep that flowing. Really feeling that squeeze back there. And last one. And bring it all the way down. So let's switch it around, bring it to the other side as I position myself here to come into that balancing of my hand and my knee. So the bottom knee is kind of kickstand as I reach up with the top arm. So from here, I'm going to lift that top leg up, point through the toes as I circle it around. So the movement comes from my hip joint. There's no movement going on here in my body at all. So that means there's a lot of contraction going on in the glute and the leg. Trying to control and make the movement as rounded as possible. And then change and go the other way. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a little rest, a little stretch here as I lengthen it out. And as I bring that leg up, I'm going to reach and squeeze. Extending and squeezing. So the knee and the elbow are not necessarily going to touch, because that would mean that you might have to really compromise your form. So don't worry about that. It's about intending them toward each other as much as you can. Last one. And bring it down. Come on, onto your side once again. You've got the elbow down, planted firmly. You're holding on to the head, but really it's your
your core here that's stabilizing you. You're not collapsing into that hand. The bottom knee is just slightly bent to help support you. And by lining up those elbows, creating a really nice stretch in the shoulders. So from here, we're going to go to work with that top leg lifting up, squeezing as you reach it back. It's a long leg, inhaling, and exhale, exhale. So breathe in and out, out. And depending on your flexibility, it's going to depend just how far forward you're able to bring that leg. It is a gliding motion. And last one. Bring it in. Phew. Well done. So from here, let's come onto our backs. As we bring our knees in once again, give yourself a nice stretch through the back, making sure that you have ample room overhead. We're going to bring the arms at our sides, keeping that body nice and level and strong and grounded. And from here, you are going to take a breath in. Now bend your legs if you find that this is a bit too much for you, in order to give you more room to complete the exercise. But from here, we're going to lift the legs up, bringing them up over the hips and lowering them down. Now you can come down as low as is available. Try not to touch the floor or bounce the legs off the floor as you lower them down. But you are continuing to execute carefully, slowly. And as you bring your legs all the way up this time, you can keep them here, or you can really squeeze that lower abdomen to help you to reach up and roll over. You can tap the floor perhaps, and then roll it back down again. So lowering down with control, bring those legs, stopping here, holding, or going right back down, or pushing up to roll it over, articulating through your spine here. So breathe in when it's easy, breathe out when you're working really hard. So again, it's about keeping the mind and the muscles that you are working as you execute the exercises. So we'll do one more here. And bring it all the way back down again as you release. Breathing in. Beautiful, beautiful long stretch here to open up and create some space for you to breathe into, blood flow going into those tissues that we've worked really hard. We've created some muscle tear, so as we rebuild stronger, healthier muscles, I want to get that blood flow circulating in there. So let's finish it up with one final bridge sequence as we bring ourselves back to that supine neutral start. Feet to anchor, toes pointed straight ahead, bringing the arms at your sides, lengthening through the tailbone as we bring the hips up. So again, we've got a beautiful leveling of the collarbones right through to your knees. Good squeeze in the glutes as we lift the right leg up into tabletop, flexing the ankle as we press that leg away without lowering the right hip. Bring it back, inhale, exhale, press as if you are pushing open a really great big steel door. You want to push, 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 and bring it back in with control as well. So press it away Inhale as you bring it back. Exhale, press. One more. Bring it in and step it down. Again, always the option to take a little bit of a breather, a little break between, or get right into the next one. Bring that leg up into your tabletop. Keep those hips level. Breathe in, breathe out, push it away. Feel the work going on here as you concentrate on your execution. One more. Bring it in, step it down. Lift up a little bit higher. See if you can bring your hands together here to interlace, maybe even get up onto your tippy toes to really get a good stretch in the hips. Inhale it up. Exhale to lower it down beautifully. Knees come into the chest once again. Massage it out. And as you bring your left foot down to the mat, cross your right ankle over top here. You can even use your right hand to press open a little bit here into that hip flexor, because no matter what, we do end up using them throughout our leg raises and some of the leg work that we do. You can interlace the fingers behind the left leg to pull in and draw the legs in, or the left knee closer to you. As you bring the foot down, open up the arms. You can keep your right ankle crossed here as you let the legs tip over to the right side and look over to the left side. Relaxing through your chest, your shoulders, neck, your jaw, your face. So it's kind of like a little checklist that you go through, making sure that you relax the major muscle groups. You want to feel that in your hips as well as your lower back, releasing your outer thigh. And bring it up, and let's switch it around. Let's bring the other ankle on top and push away first. And then bring in next, pulling the back of your thigh towards you. Using your exhales and just the subtlety of the exhale, helping you get a little deeper into the stretch. Bring your foot down, open up, and let your knees tip to the side. Feel a beautiful opening in that outer hip. Relax your face, and you can close your eyes. You can feel good knowing all the good stuff that you've just done for your body, for your mind, your emotional well-being. It's all connected, all works together, and you reap the benefits in all of those as they all overlap. As you come back to the center here, you can kind of sway the legs side to side a little bit. And as we bring the knees in, we'll once again roll forward and back a few times to come all the way up. As you come up to seated, you can take a hold of one ankle or one foot. We'll lean into the side here to just give a pull. Pointing your tailbone towards your knee is going to help to really get into that hip flexor. It helps to open up the shoulder as well as you let it roll back and opens your chest. And then let's switch it around to the other side. So I hope you enjoyed your time today, and I certainly did. Love, love, love this practice. Love to just have the opportunity to work out with you. And then release it.
So as we make our way into a comfortable seated position, you can open up the arms, give those a stretch, bring the hands behind you and press the heart open. You can even lift the hands away from your lower back again, just like we did in that double kick or triple kick stretch. And then release it. Shrug the shoulders a few times, roll them out, shake out the arms. Take one big final stretch, inhaling and exhaling, bringing the hands to the heart. And namaste.